because of the way we have with the pen and the special paper, you can write your comments on here as well, and it will be documented. And one of the things we'll check at the end is who I can share this form with and which professionals you're happy for me to share the information you've given me today, because this is very important that we work together in partnership for the benefit of Ben.
Francesca Dunn works as a school nurse for Lambeth Primary Care Trust. Today she's meeting with one of the school mums, Anna, referred to her by a special education needs coordinator. This came about as a result of concerns about her 7-year-old son, Ben. There have been a series of unexplained absences from school, reportedly down to the boy feeling unwell. But this has led to a negative impact, not just on his behaviour, but also his performance at school.
Given me an awful lot of information about Ben, and we've highlighted some things that you might feel beneficial, that you think Ben would benefit from to help him settle back into school, that we might be able to help him feel a little more confidence in himself and perhaps even give him some support around coping with his granddad's death. What I do need is...
Her job used to be tedious, involving hours of taking down notes, then completing referral forms, all by hand. But thanks to this innovative digital pen, incorporating Anoto technology, things have radically improved. Not only does it write, it also remembers everything she has noted, capturing all the information recorded on the Common Assessment Framework, or CAF. Once completed, Anna keeps the original. After returning to Francesca's office, she docks the pen and within seconds, Magicomm's application processes the form's data.
Once the pen is docked, the data is downloaded into the system and creates a perfect PDF, so that once it's on the system we can then share it with our partner services within the NHS by secure methods, or even with education and social services if they're the appropriate methods to share those with, all via secure methods and protected by agency firewalls.
Before, the original form would have to be manually keyed in, photocopied and then scanned to create a PDF. Parents like Anna would have eventually got a copy, but often after a long delay, sometimes weeks.
Well, for us it means that we now work as a team around that particular child, and allows us to work and provide much more joined up services in a much more connected manner and working in partnership, which is what we aim to do. For both practitioners and families, it's a much better way forward and allows the families to have ownership of the assessment that has just been carried out of their child.
By having one standard referral form, this is then distributed securely amongst other health and borough partners, including social, education and voluntary services. In the past, each organisation required separate referral forms, with families often having to endure discussing the same detail over and over again. The PCT first piloted Magicomm's application. This was undertaken with 50 Common Assessment Framework forms, completed by 5 practitioners amongst 2 teams. The PCT also trialled laptops as an alternative, but it was the pen which won the staff's vote.
As part of our pilot, we undertook an evaluation day where we asked staff what the benefits to them were. And they came out with real examples. For instance, one nurse used to take 3 hours to copy type a common assessment framework. She can now download it in 7 minutes. One nurse felt very frightened at carrying a laptop through the streets of Brixton. She now carries a pen in her pocket. One nurse one day couldn't use a laptop because the battery had gone dead, and the pen has a longer battery life than the laptop. And in various other areas, such as web access for the file, we're actually quite limited in some of our conurbation areas and in high built-up areas because web access is difficult. Whereas the pen, they can actually use the digital pen, or they can convert to a normal pen and take everything back and sort it out at the office.
Perhaps one of the biggest advantages the pen has over other technologies is more subtle, in the all-important area of establishing a rapport between patients and the practitioner.
Sometimes in clinical practice, you miss a golden moment with a client when they've said something but means something else because you're too busy looking at your computer. The digital pen doesn't allow that. It means that you can actually continue to build rapport with the clients.
Any concerns over security and the sensitive issue of handling confidential information by third parties has been overcome by Magicomm's application software. This resides on a dedicated server at the Trust, behind firewalls, fully satisfying security requirements.
I'm just wanting to introduce a piece of new technology that you've maybe heard about, the digital pen.
Yep.
Okay, here it is, your first chance to hold it.
So how do you actually charge this? Do you use a battery or something?
The docking station that uses to download the file is actually a battery charger as well. So there are portable charging units you can take home with you, but we've also got a docking station at each workstation. So while it's downloading, it's recharging as well. And the battery life...
Staff can easily learn how to use the pen, with no need for lengthy training sessions. And it's not just being able to streamline record keeping in the area of CAFs. The adult record keeping, known as the Single Assessment Process, or SAPS, has also been transformed. Arjun Note received a 20-minute training session today and has the confidence to start using Magicomm's application immediately.
It only took about 15-20 minutes to actually learn how to use the pen, and it's really helpful. I mean, it's going to save me so much paperwork. It's really easy to use, and I think it's a brilliant invention.
This investment by Lambeth Primary Care Trust is set to yield big dividends, and within a relatively short space of time.
At the moment we have 18 sites covered, and we're about to include another 5 by the end of the year. We've got 2 forms covered, we're about to increase that to 6 forms, and we have 150 pens circulating within the trust. We're about to increase that to 500 pens. So by the end of the year, 100% of the sites will be covered, 100% of the practitioners will be covered, and 100% of the documents covered. So IT love it, the staff love it, and the finance department really enjoy the savings we're making.
This simple but highly effective application that has been warmly received by practitioners and community workers has not just streamlined the process of data collection. More importantly, it has transformed the way in which adult and child records are recorded and stored. This now enables Lambeth PCT to gather a team around the needs of vulnerable patients, leading to coordinated care and improved service provision. So little change, yet so many benefits.